noting that these are our opinions, so please don't come for us if we felt a bit let down by a game that you really enjoyed. Disappointing games of 2022. Number 10, Ghostwire Tokyo. Here at Team Triple Jump, we've come across loads of video games over the years that are all style and no substance. Perhaps the best example of this phenomenon from 2022 is Ghostwire Tokyo. In this timed exclusive for the PS5 and PC, players are given the ability to use psychic and paranormal abilities to defeat the many ghouls and ghosties that haunt Tokyo.
Hi.
On paper, this sounds like it could be a great deal of fun, but an unwillingness on the part of the devs to push the envelope has prevented Ghostwire Tokyo from achieving greatness. A number of publications commented that some of the gameplay feels a little antiquated, and in particular, they felt the combat was overly simplistic and the protagonist's movements seemed slow and imprecise. Many also found the game to be quite repetitive, and although the premise may sound cool, in practice, it's nothing really innovative to be found. Those looking for a bit of mindless ghost hunting fun or a game that looks very pretty would probably enjoy
I don't have an outro.
Tokyo, but anyone after something with a little more substance would be better off ghosting this particular offering. Number 9, As Dusk Falls. It makes us a little sad to have put As Dusk Falls on this list.
What's this game?
It's a pretty good game. The art style's interesting and pleasing to the eye. Choices given to the players actually have some weight to them, and the story is compelling. Regrettably though, developer Interior Light really beefed the ending. As Dusk Falls is split into two distinct parts, books as they're known in the game. The first book focuses on a hostage situation at a motel in a desert, whilst the second presents the aftermath of the event. The first couple of chapters of book 1 are gripping, keeping players at the edge of their seats for the duration. However, things start to go downhill during chapter 3. Firstly, a trigger warning basically spoils what's going to happen, so players are no longer surprised when it does. We support the warning, of course, but feel it could be better placed. Secondly, the pacing of the story takes a severe hit as flashbacks are inserted at inopportune moments, and rather than adding to the story, they just yank players out of the action. So in summary, As Dusk Falls gets off to a great start, fails to stick.
Every moment in life is a bet. Like betting on taking a hitchhiker tip.
Great.
I can't legally gamble, stupid.
If you're a fan of horror, you'll know that genuine spooks are hard to come by, as it takes a lot of work to frighten an audience, especially today. Sadly, some game developers seem to be under the impression that gross and scary are synonymous with one another, and it's for that reason that we have titles like Scorn. First announced in 2014, Scorn is described as an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. The idea is that players are thrown into the world with little context in order to create feelings of isolation. However, what most players will feel is some combination of confusion and revulsion. In fairness to Scorn, its HR Giga-inspired visuals are incredibly impressive, and for a time at least, they are quite unsettling. The issue, though, is that they're constant, so after a while, the player becomes numb to them. We've discussed this problem before in reference to titles like Agony, because the trouble is, if everything is at 100 all of the time, it might as well be at 0 all of the time. The game does have a couple of cool puzzles, but most of its runtime is taken up by aimlessly wandering around, grim-looking, but not very scary corridors. Number 7, New Tales from the Borderlands.
This game is pretty good. Well, let's see what happened. Oh, Telltale Games. Okay. Telltale Games has kind of been like not doing the best lately, if that's what I've heard. I've heard that the other one, like Tiny Tina's Tales, like whatever that one new one, almost like Borderlands 4 came out. I don't know what that one is, but I heard that one did actually really good. Yeah, it looks like a fun game.
For a while, it looked like we'd have to live the rest of our lives without getting to experience follow-ups to the likes of The Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands. But recently, the mantle has been picked up critics couldn't really find much to love. The characters are irritating, the decisions made by players feel like they don't really matter, and the Borderlands series humour is almost entirely absent. Ugh, new tales from the Borderlands, more like new fails from the Borderlands. Number 6, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, Switch port. The OG KOTOR, first released in 2003, is considered to be one of the greatest games of all time. Sadly, although its sequel, Knights of the Old Republic 2 with The Sith Lords, was pretty good, thanks to a rushed development, it was buggier than a Bush-Tucker trial.
Come on.
Much of its content ended up on the cutting room floor. So, with all that in mind, when a port for the Nintendo Switch was announced in May 2022, fans of the series rejoiced. Surely, they probably thought to themselves, the developers will take this opportunity to fix the issues and reinstate the missing content. They did not. Didn't do that at all. Indeed, upon its release in June 2022, players found that all of the problems that plagued the original were still present in the port. Some more
Darn it.
minor problems could be overlooked, but those that caused the game to constantly crash
Come on.
were not so easily swept under the rug. A patch was released in
Come on.
July 2022.
There's a
that
bug with
addressed
this
some
thing.
issues, but KOTOR 2 is still far from perfect. According to Aspire,
Wait.
DLC for the game.
Wait a second. It's not seating because it's already seated. Ugh. That's stupid. Look, guys, I am peak intelligence right there. Just look at that. Unrivaled intelligence. I'm sorry, are you trespassing on my property? No, whatever, I trespass on people's properties all the time in this game, so I guess it's kind of... Here, I need a fart here. Gotham Knights. Swear to God, every single Batman game has a flop. Oh wait, yeah, this one was bad. I've heard about it. Saints Row, Saints Row, Saints Row. It has to be on this list. Oh, well, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is on this list. That's interesting. Well, why did it fail? I heard that was a really good DLC. I've heard about this one. Wii Resort. I remember that. I wonder how many TVs have died.
So for me, now, the game comes with 6 modes. 3 from previous installments, i.e. tennis, bowling, sword play, as well as soccer, volleyball, and badminton. To jump in, all players need to do is wield the Joy-Con as they would in real sports, and simulate the correct motions. So far, so good. And from a critical standpoint, it's only 4% less good than its forefart. So why do I feel so down by it? The reasons given for its middling review scores were the less than stellar motion controls, the game's heavy reliance on online play,
Oh god.
lack of content.
Dude.
2 out of 3 of these.
I hate games that can be played offline, but you have to play them online. And the worst part is when you get a mobile game and it's like, you have to be online. Hey, do you like advertisements? Well, I don't care. You're gonna get advertisements. You thought you were gonna get off the hook? Yeah, huh? You thought you were gonna turn on your airplane mode? Nope, you got to watch our advertisements, lol. Get trolled. Oh my god, I hate games like that. For example, if a game doesn't need to be online, don't put it online. People, I feel like the biggest advice that developers and companies need to know, if it ain't broke, don't freaking fix it. Honestly. There's so many video games that have been, like, you know, that have been fine, but then people just ruin them. Like Wii Sports and Wii Resort. Wii Resort is one of my favorite games. In fact, I did a live stream on Instagram where I actually played through and not really speedrun, but like, I tried to complete sword dueling as fast as I can, and I did pretty good. I even got Matt.
Complaints could probably also be leveled at Wii Sports, so I think it's fairly safe to say that nostalgia played a large role in assuring our disappointment here. Number 2, Overwatch 2.
Oh god. Yup, this is exactly what I meant to say right here. I saw that Overwatch actually, like, if you show me a video between the two games, I wouldn't know the difference. Like, I would think they're the same game. I've seen both the same games, and I can, you know, say that, you know, they look exactly the same. This is where I got my little quote. I said, Overwatch 1 was actually pretty good. Even today, I've heard that it's actually pretty good for esports. However, you know, as I have to say, if it ain't broke, don't freaking fix it. Overwatch did not need to be fixed, in my opinion. It might be controversial, but like, seriously, I don't know. I've not played Overwatch. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me, because I don't want to be wrong. But the way I look at it, it didn't look like Overwatch really needed to be fixed, or there didn't even be a new add-on. But it seems that they just said nope, and just made an add-on, I guess.
Time you think you can't possibly let us down any further, you promptly proceed to do so. First, there was the announcement of Diablo Immortal, which went down so badly at BlizzCon 2018 that it led to one of the most iconic moments in
Wait.
history. Then there was the really bad thing, and now, as a complete
Oh.
vector of terribleness, there's Overwatch 2. Now, we're fully aware that the studio didn't intend to keep Overwatch 2 in its current state, but as things stand, it's basically just Overwatch, but with extra microtransactions.
I literally have seen, I've literally seen, you know, videos of, you know, the same game, or no, both the games, and I can't find a difference. Like, if you looked at Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Fallout 76, Fallout New Vegas, there are so many differences. I can literally tell you which game it is if you show me a picture of the HUD, or you show me a picture of the map, or a picture of the game, you know, or a picture of gameplay. I can definitely tell you which game it is. I can't tell you if you show me Overwatch 1 or 2. I just can't. It's perfect. Good thing I have an Axial Flow 9250. What a big flex, honestly.
The games
I feel like this is kind of a flex, having this combine. It's got some tracks on it. If you put tracks on a combine, you're basically paying enough money to buy yourself a pretty good car. These tracks cost $20,000 if you add them on, which is in and of itself is pricey. I'm gonna watch the video now. There's a lot of people watching my video. Thank you. Yeah, Saints Row. Okay, I was actually watching a video about Saints Row like a few months ago before it even came out, and I'm like, that actually looks pretty cool. I love the look of the game. I like, you know, the feeling, the vibe. However, well, we all know what happened to Saints Row. Just like Fallout 76, it was an undeveloped, mitigatable disaster, or unmitigated disaster. And I have to say this, if any developers watching this, finish your game. Let's say I'm making a project. You don't make a school project and turn like let's say you're like making art, like, right? You don't make an art project where half your freaking page is colored in and the other half is just blank. No, that's unfinished. If you put out a game, you need to make it perform to the best of its ability. And I'm very aware there are going to be bugs in the game. For example, there's literally a bug in this game right now where even sometimes when the even when this thing is lowered, it kind of doesn't do that much. Sorry, I hear playing. Game, okay, and bugs are not avoidable. There are bugs in every single piece of software, and that's just like you really can't destroy all bugs. If you can, well, you're just completely like a Giga Chad game developer. And I know that, and I know developers have families, but the thing is, you need to know how to put out a game that doesn't have as many bugs. If the game has bugs, don't release it at full price. What Fallout 76 should have done, they should said, you know, hey, we're gonna enter like alpha/beta. Actually, they did enter beta, but their beta was literally just, it's just, they only named the game beta because, you know, oh, selling point. Fallout 76 should have been released probably 1 year from now. If Fallout 76 was released 1 year from now, it probably would have launched way better. In fact, 2023 might be the year where Fallout 76 is actually fixed. And I'm aware that the game is actually, you know, better than it is now, but I still don't like to play it. But still, it is unexcusable. What Todd Howard should have done, again, I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. What Todd Howard should have done, he should have delayed the launch of Fallout 76 and published it a year later. It took like what, 3 years to make Fallout 76, which that is not a lot of time. Making AAA games like this, like that size, it takes a lot of time.
The game is absolutely insane. The story takes place after the boss has become the president of the United States and tells of the Saints' struggle against alien invaders that have trapped Earth's best and brightest in a simulation and destroyed the planet. The issue was that from there, developed militia was kind of left with nowhere else to go. After all, hard to go bigger than blowing up Earth. So for the next game in the Saints Row series, the decision was made to do a reboot rather than trying to top the wackiness of 4. Big mistake. The main issue with 2022's Saints Row, aside from the fact it has the same title as the first game in the series, is therefore going to be super confusing for the rest of the gameplay. Has failed to evolve since the release of 4, plus the game was absolutely jam-packed with glitches. As a standalone title, Saints Row would be a middling open-world action-adventure, but as a Saints
Laws broken, Home Alone.
Already put a holiday on this game.
Oh yes. Square Enix is making another game. Or what if they could just, you know, can they please make Just Cause 5? And if they do make Just Cause 5, can we not make it buggy? Please? And thank you. I hate how Just Cause 4 resets all of your destruction after you've done it. "101 worst games of all time." 2 hours?
Video games. We've spent many hours ranking games from worst to best, chronicling the most horrible games of each year, and even devoting time every fortnight
Oh,
to
yeah.
playing those that are worse than most. But have you ever stopped to wonder which game ranks the most egregious of all time? You could go and look it up online, but why would you do that when we've done all the hard work for you and put it together in this handy-dandy hours-long video? You're welcome.
Before we get into our entries, it's worth clarifying the criteria that we've used to put this list together. We've trawled through the archives of both Metacritic and Game Rankings to find the 101 worst reviewed video games of all time. A title must have received at least 7 professional reviews in order to qualify, as it helps to ensure the averages are fair and not skewed by the views of one particular economic critic.
Wherever a game score differs between Metacritic and Game Rankings,
Like, here's a bug right here, right? I have my machine lowered. Oh, I have it lifted. No, it's not a bug. It's just me being a stupid person. I know it's off topic, but can we just admire my pants? I love these pants. They have these nice red stripes all the way through them. And they just look sick.
one is lower. We must also remind you that this list is accurate as
People,
to the time
Gucci's the
right
best brand of clothing. Nothing other is better. Me with my Adidas brand clothes that cost like 1/100th of their price.
You will notice there are no games on this list
Actually, no, 1/1000th.
for 1999. Now, we just want to assure you that this hasn't been done on purpose. It's just that the 101 games with the worst review scores and at least 7 professional reviews happen to have all been released in 1999 or later. Go figure. Now that all of that's out of the way, I bet.
Let's start this off.
And I'm Ashton from Triple and here are the 101 worst games.
Okay, let's see. Game flops. Let's see. Fallout 76, Saints Row. In a sense, Just Cause 4. Maybe Just Cause 1, if you could think about it like that. Fallout 3? I don't know why people hate Fallout 3. I don't hate it. I'm fine with it. I've never played the game before. Let's just say.
Armorines Project Swarm, 29.88%. Right,
Jeez.
they're going to be bad when the game of 101 didn't even manage to scrape 30 out of 100.
29%. That sucks.
A rough ride.
That makes Fallout 76 look like a AAA title.
European and/or early appearance from Simon Miller was a first-person shooter based on the Armorines comic book. The story focuses on the exploits of the Armorines, a military branch outfitted with special suits that are designed to be virtually indestructible. Players take on the role of one of 2 playable protagonists, Tony Lewis or Myra Lane, and are tasked with protecting Earth from the spider-like extraterrestrials that have invaded. Though the game's premise doesn't sound too bad on paper, in reality the whole thing was a shambles. Critics complained of poor quality graphics, frame rate issues, and frequent...
That game looks really bad for being from 2000.
Left them falling to their deaths or confused as to what their mission objectives were. To add insult to injury, the game was utterly bland, providing players with nothing more to do than wander through linear levels and blast enemies. Admittedly, that's sometimes rough. A game that with so many other better options to choose from, there really wasn't always Number 100.
X Rebirth PC 2013.
There are some games out there that are bad because they're technically inept.
Oh my god.
Bugs and glitches, you'll find a solid experience that's truly worth your time. X Rebirth was not feasible. Such a game has beyond its technical inadequacies and with a galaxy full of colors. X Rebirth was detected by the Red Australia as leading its co-pilot Misha Opera Space Intelligence Right to 10,000.
That does sound exciting. God.
The event wasn't just boring, it was also fundamentally broken. Critics reported frequent crashing and tons of bugs, so even if flying mindlessly through space with nothing to do was incompetent, the game would probably flat Space Garage. Number 99. Soda Drinker.
Soda Drinker? 2016.
For a game that replicates the experience of drinking your favorite carbonated beverage but costs several times as much as a can of the stuff, you need Soda Drinker. Each player's tasked with drinking 20 empty their soda bit. That is all there is to it. So, in the game, Vivian Clark, which is basically a low-rent WarioWare. Critics were, unsurprisingly, not very kind to Soda Drinker Pro.
Why is this a $5 game?
Vivian Clark did offer players a bit of quite much of a challenge. With the lack of anything meaningful to do, difficult players often do visuals and surely would have. Like just one man, there were also random local developers who began to try out titles like Undertale, so that excuse doesn't have any much. We're not sure if Soda Drinker Pro was developed with the intention of being so bad it's new, but the takeaway here should just be that it's really, really bad. Number 98. ESPN Sports Connection, 29.29%. When the good
2012.
Nintendo released Wii Sports in 2006, they could possibly have known that their creation would inspire a parade of pale imitations. What such tragic luck as 2012's ESPN Sports Connection for the Wii U, a game that is effectively what you'd get if you ordered Wii Sports from Twitch. ESPN Sports Connection offered players the opportunity to play a number of popular sports from the comfort of their own homes. With that said, we hate to imply that the experience of playing any one of the mini-games was in any way like actually going out and kart racing, or playing football, baseball, or any other of the sports the game claimed to replicate. Not only was the interactivity minimal and the gameplay repetitive, but ESPN Sports Connection also offered players no kind of progression system. There's nothing to unlock, and the AI was painfully stupid, which made it insultingly easy. It was also plagued with technical issues, and if you were masochistic enough to force it upon your friends, the game would suffer from severe slowdown. The bottom line was that everything ESPN Sports Connection tried to do had already been done before. In most cases, far better.
Yeah, we were. It's called. I'm not joking. I know we don't really have way too many gaming consoles at our school, but yet even though we have a Wii, it is way more played than the Xbox at our school. Even the Xbox One is not really played, at least last year. My friends, when they got done with their work, they love to go back on the Xbox, on the Wii, and just start playing Wii Sports. Even after all this time, it is still a legendary game.
29%. Now, don't get us wrong, we've got absolutely nothing against short games. In fact, we previously dedicated entire lists to recommending great games that you can finish in less than an evening. With that said, though, we simply cannot stand by and watch whilst a demo-linked title sold for an exorbitant amount of money. That's the case with 2012's anyway. If a short runtime had been released only, critics might not give it such a bashing, but if anything, the fact that it only lasted for around an hour was about the only thing the game had going for it. The story follows the alleged victim Michael Bezel. Bezel? You get it? As he attempts to steal the items he needs to propose to his girlfriend, Francesca. There were other plot threads that went into that along the way, but
It looks like Borderlands.
with them. The studio had plans for a sequel, though thanks to the shoddiness on display in Wimbledon, no such game ever materialized. As though with its short runtime and poorly
It
constructed
literally looks like
enough, but we also suffered from camera issues and a serious lack of creativity within
a good game that you can finish in less than an hour on Mechanical 2012. It is actually a really underrated game. The subreddit for Unmechanical barely even exists. It's almost unheard of, the game is.
managed to find some praise for its art style, but that on its own was enough to make it a number 96.
Oh, I'm about to say Ark Survival? What? But then it's like, oh, Switch. The weakness with Ark is that it is very hard to port and make it good. I think the Ark mobile port is okay, in my opinion. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. It's actually pretty okay for a port. But Switch.
Survival Evolved, 29.
So wait, if I'm saying that
If you're a
this
fan
is...
of survival games and wouldn't mind seeing how you get on living in prehistoric times, then we heartily recommend that you give Ark Survival Evolved a go. It isn't the absolute best.
Maybe I should stream that next year. Wink, wink.
Base building and dinosaur taming fun for the whole family. If you do, though, do not play it on the Nintendo Switch. Ark was originally released in August 2017 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but it didn't get a Switch port until November 2018. Suffice it to say, the developers shouldn't have bothered. As the name might suggest, the aim of the game is survival. Players must build themselves a base and defend it from both animal and human adversaries, all whilst keeping tabs on their vital stats. Players can also tame a variety of creatures, both real and mythical, and use them as transportation to explore the world. If all of this sounds like fun, well, it is on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC.
Yeah.
The Switch version of the game was downgraded in basically every way to allow it to run on the console. Frame rates were poor, the textures were blurry, and the game suffered from long load times. Number 95, 13, 29%.
13?
There are some games out there that are in dire need of a remake. Then there are some, like 2003's 13, that should have been left well alone. The original 13 was a pretty good first-person shooter, and critics enjoyed its comic book-style graphics and fun gameplay. It earned review scores in the low to mid-70s, and though it didn't sell particularly well, it did gain a cult following. The 13 remake, on the other hand, was a complete mess from start to finish. The story of the 13 remake was the same as the original. A man with amnesia awakens on a beach and attempts to find his identity. Soon finds himself entangled in a conspiracy to overthrow the government and discovers that he's wanted by the FBI for the assassination of the US president. Not only was the remake plagued by bugs, glitches, and audio issues and posing a weapon to players, but it also brought a lot of flack for the changes made to the art style, which was one of the best things about the original. Developer PlayMagic's former staff blamed the company's CEO, Giuseppe Floriano, for the problems, accusing him of mismanagement and creating a toxic working environment. He naturally disputes these claims, though admits that there were cash flow problems during the game's development. See? It's a problem, Giuseppe. You don't pay your staff, they'll churn out a crappy game. Number 94, Tiny Racer, 29%.
Tiny Racer?
Oh boy, girl, wasn't 2020 a terrible year for video games?
It was such an awful year for video games.
Tiny Racer is a game that does exactly what it says on the tin. You, the player, choose from one of several miniature vehicles and then race your opponents around a number of tracks for 3 laps at a time. If the game had done this competently, then it might have gone down better with critics, but it couldn't even get the basics right. For starters, none of the cards have different stats, so that choice was entirely arbitrary. Once on the track, things didn't get much better. Although the controls were straightforward, there were no power-ups or anything else to distinguish Tiny Racer from its scores of competitors. When it came to the actual racing, the shoddiness continued. The game's various bugs would see the cards frequently tumbling over one another and the side rails, and the camera didn't help matters since the downward angle made it difficult for players to see what lay ahead. Technically, Tiny Racer was functional, but numerous bugs, ugly UI, irritating music, and a complete lack of identity made it impossible to recommend to anyone. Number 93, Game Party 2, 29%.
Ooh, old ones.
Before we get into this one, we want you to commit the bad name of Game Party to memory, because the series is going to appear on this list not once, but twice more. How does that feel, Game Party, taking up almost 3% of a list of the 101 worst games ever made? The least egregious of the 3 Game Party titles on our list is 2008's Game Party 2, a collection of minigames that were shot together at party start. Excited by tasks like data entry or inventory management. Indeed, if you liked dull, monotonous, and repetitive tasks, then you'd have probably enjoyed Game Party 2, but you preferred your games to be, fun, then you'd have wanted to avoid it like the plague. Though Game Party 2 boasted a whopping 11 mini-games, several of these were featured in the original Game Party, so only a handful were new. Plus, they all boiled down to repeatable making one of 3 gestures with a remote. The audio-visual presentation did nothing to endear Game Party to players either, as everything was bland and generic, with mean look-alike characters to the insipid royalty-free soundtrack. We can't actually say for sure because it was royalty-free, but it sure as hell sounded right. Number 92, Duke Nukem Critical Mass, 29%. It seems like 2011 was a bad year for poor old Duke Nukem. After 14 years of development hell, Duke Nukem Forever
however, released to a very tepid response. Though, with that said, it wasn't old enough to earn it a spot on his list, so bravo, I suppose. Then, as if to add insult to injury, fans had to put up with the important children. Fans as well. The shooting was interesting. The 11 runs with years away for the rest of the world a couple of months later. In terms of story, Critical Mass is set following the disappearance of an Earth Defense Force agent and a special team. During the worst, he only emphasized perhaps a little more the second gameplay was largely run and gun, but the developers did try to keep things entertaining by rotating between first person and third person.
Yeah.
Critics gave the developers a few points for trying, but that's really where the praise ended. The game was ugly, repetitive, and lacked any of the charm of the previous Duke titles. Now, the D-Man's witty one-lines were watered down to appease the rating gods. It seems like developer Apogee needs to make a serious apology for this one. 91.
Wild West Online.
29%. In 2018, an open-world Wild West themed game released to universal critical acclaim, garnering a near-perfect score of 97 out of 100.
Red Dead 2. Yeah, I've heard Red Dead 2 is actually really good.
As though to keep the universe in perfect balance, another open-world Wild West themed game was released in 2018. That one was utter flops. We'll get the good stuff out of the way first. To its credit, Wild West Online did have a very large open world. Actually, large is a bit of a compliment. After all, if you ordered a large bucket from KFC but it didn't contain any fried chicken, then you probably wouldn't be very happy. Anyway, I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that Wild West Online didn't have very much in the way of content. The character creator was lacking in options, the missions were dull and repetitive, the story was basically non-existent. What Wild West Online did were hundreds and hundreds of microtransactions.
Oh my god.
We made the game pay to win, and we all know how we here at Team Triple Jump feel about that. Released as a beta, critics might have been a little more forgiving, but Wild West Online claims to be a full and finished game, one with too many microtransactions, not enough punching. Number 19.
We're making a bet around every 2 seconds. Not only on the game, but on the game on the life.
NFL Blitz 2003, 29%. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's just finish talking. I'm really cross if I do that. In the early 2000s, it seemed the world was bonkers for American football video games. But the fact there was an abundance of them doesn't mean they were all good. In fairness to NFL Blitz 20-03, its GameCube, PS2 and Xbox versions weren't half bad. posted as a bit of a challenge to the title, but not really the sort that players were hoping. The final nail in Puzzle Bubble versus Coffin, though, was the fact that it didn't even have a single-player mode, so players had to force the game onto others, which earned them absolutely no friends. Number 88, NFL Quarterback Club 2000, 28.63 cents. Well, look at this. It's always the way. You wait ages for a bad American football game, and then two come along within a couple of entries of each other. As if to prove my point that not all turn of the millennium football games were winners, here's NFL Nintendo 64 versions were utter flops. Part of the problem was the fact that Sega's NFL 2K was just so darn good that everything else in the American football
this looks so bad.
Comparison. And in the case of QB Club 2000, the comparison was not favorable. Personally, it looked absolutely horrible. The graphics would have only just been passable at the beginning of the generation. Some of the animations were for players. Still, poor visual presentation can be somewhat forgiven.
God darn it, sugar beets.
Fun. But QB Club 2000 lacked inner beauty as well as outer. Among the complaints were dumb AI, funky controls, and copious bugs. Astonishingly, the game didn't signal the end for the NFL Quarterback Club series, though this tale doesn't have a happy ending, as things didn't exactly get better in later entries. Thankfully, though, sports fans haven't been tormented with a release of this franchise since 2001. Number 87, Conspiracy, Weapons
Hey, look, it's your onboard.
28.5%. Every so often, a game will be released that has received minimal fanfare prior to launch, and yet still blows critics and players away with all it has to offer. Others, like 2005's Conspiracy, Weapons of Mass Destruction, slip out into the world with very little hype, presumably in the hopes that no one will notice them and therefore fail to realise what utter tosh they are. Conspiracy's issues were many. First of all, there was the story, which couldn't have been grander or more generic if it had tried. Players jumped into the woefully
I want to get this giant open mount of plots.
Yes, really. A mercenary and ex-Secret Service agent on one last assignment, which sees him trying to take down the rogue government agency, Hydra. Again, yes, really. If the problems had ended in Conspiracy's weak story, then things might not have been so bad. But the gameplay
This sounds surprised I haven't gotten copyrighted.
linear and repetitive. The visuals were outdated, and the voice acting was painful to listen to.
Sure what Hydra do here, but as long as I'm paid,
Force and stealth sections also did nothing to endear the game to players.
Honestly, if you want to take out like an evil rogue government, just play Just Cause 3. Way more fun.
Being good, a bit more love and attention. These Conspiracy Weapons of Mass Destruction, though, the kindest thing the devs have done for it would have been to take it out back and shoot it in the face. Number 86,
Stephen King.
If you're perusing a bookstore and you come across a title with the name Stephen King splashed across it in big letters, you can probably bank on the fact it's going to be half decent. Alas, the same cannot be said of video game bearing the illustrious name, as Stephen King's F-13 proved. This somewhat bizarre title wasn't a single game, but rather several mini-games bundled together with some screensavers, sound effects, desktop wallpapers, and a copy of King's novella, Everything's Eventual. We'll get the praise out of the way first. Everything's Eventual wasn't a bad story, but had previously been published in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction, and the later appearing King's 2002 collection also called Everything's Eventual. So it wasn't like F-13 was the only place to find it. The actual games, on the other hand, were laughable. Both Bug Splat and Whack Zombie were variations on Whack-A-Mole and became tedious in a matter of seconds. And No Swimming simply tasked players with feeding a series of creatures to piranhas, which would start smashing the screen if they didn't get their chow in a timely Server rightly pointed out, the only scary thing about stealing King's F-13 was its $13 price tag. Wondering equates to over $50.
That is, that'd be like a $5 game.
Orion Dino Beatdown, 28.33%.
28. Starting to climb lower.
Rose by any other name would smell as sweet. If that's truly the case, then Orion Dino Beatdown, regardless of
145. I only need like $10,000.
Orion Prelude or Orion Dino Horde, would still smell vaguely of poo. Orion Dino Beatdown was originally launched as a mod for Half-Life 2, before being developed into a game in its own right. In terms of its premise, it was an
I would take out a loan to get it.
in which teams of up to 5 players banded together to fend off waves of dinosaurs and protect a generator. Though on paper the game sounds just fine, in practice it
I
was
would actually buy that field and take out a loan, but I don't want to have like $0.
that was absolutely riddled with bugs, glitches, and other such technical problems. Players complained of flipping and frame rate issues, as well as a bug that prevented them from spectating once they'd been killed, leaving them with nothing to do but twiddle their thumbs for a few minutes. Additionally, many players experienced problems with actually joining a game server, though the jury is out on whether that was due to technical issues or just the fact that nobody actually wanted to play the darn thing. Number 84, Rhythm and Notes improve your music skills, 28.29%. Over the years, video games have gotten a bit of a bad rap. Concerned those who claim that they're turning players' brains to mush.
No, they're not.
And it's always nice when a game comes up with a plate that will teach us something, if for no other reason than to prove the naysayers wrong. They had told you, Mom. Still, most entertainment games are roughly as fun as an afternoon at the dentist. And Rhythm and Notes improve your music skills, or Tsunami Rhythm and Notes, if we get British about this, was no different. The goal of Rhythm and Notes improve your music skills is right there in the title. The game attempted to educate players in the realms of, you guessed it, rhythm and notes. Sadly though, it failed even on that front, as the so-called lessons would simply play a series of chords at the player and just expect them to identify them without any prior instruction.
I don't know how I'd be able to do that.
Part of the game was insultingly
I don't know anything like chords or anything.
listening to a beat and then getting them to repeat it back by tapping the stylus on the touchscreen. Overall,
Just play that one puzzle in Unmechanical if you know what I'm talking about, and you'll learn about beats.
Number 83, Monster Trucks DX, 28.2%. We've seen some games that push the boundaries between up and down page in our time. It's often that we can prosecute that's literally just a reskin version of another one. The kicker is that 8 Monster Truck DX Monster Trucks DS offered players a chance to race one of 8 different vehicles around a 125 all-terrain tracks. While all of that may well be true, none of it was worth actually doing. The first issue was the driving itself. Because Monster Trucks were just reskinned quad bikes, they handled in a really weird way and were less responsive than players were expecting. Monster Trucks DS was also severely lacking in the presentation department, with critics complaining that its interface was less than user-friendly. The game also came under fire for its poor progression system, which failed to give players any indication of how well they were doing. The bar was already pretty low for Monster Truck DS, but it still managed to limbo under that bad boy to the horror. Unfortunately, play it. Number 82, Shell Shock 2 Blood Trials, 28.19%. It's a fallacy that you need tons of money to make a good game. Titles such as Mario and Hollow Knight were made relatively small. They're both fantastic. Why did Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails have such a rough time of things? Well, the answer is probably that it tried to break into a genre that was A, already oversaturated, and B, oversaturated with some really good AAA titles. The story of Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails follows Nate Walker, a US soldier during the Vietnam War, as he desperately tries to find testing program, and so not only does Nate have Viet Cong to deal with, he also has to stave off flesh-eating zombies as well. And if all of that sounds that plot to you, well, it was. Yeah, you bang on. Things didn't get much better from there, as Shellshock 2 failed to cultivate anything in the way of atmosphere, instead serving...
Looked like it had potential, but they just screwed it up.
Land. There was some good news for citizens of Australia, though, as Shellshock 2 Blood Trails was so violent, it was refused classification, therefore sparing Aussie gamers the pain of experiencing it. Silver linings, eh? Number 81, Mistmare, 28.14%. Prior to finding out it was an utterly rubbish video game, if you'd asked us what a Mistmare was, we probably would have said it was a this morning when you're late for work and your car felt successfully decaught the windscreen. Released in June 2003 for the PC, Mistmare was an action RPG set in an alternate timeline, one in which the Industrial Revolution never happened, and so, despite it being the year 1996, things are still looking pretty medieval. A deadly fog has cut off the north of Europe to the south, and it's up to the monk Isidore to figure out what's happening and put a stop to the evil before it's too late. Although the story wasn't bad, everything happened about Mistmare was sorely lacking. Critics found the RPG elements to be convoluted, to the point where it was difficult to figure out what each stat affected and how to improve them. The time management system only allowed players to perform certain actions at certain times of day, also wasn't planned. Players would find themselves trying to kill time just so they could get to a time when they could do something of interest. Mistmare was so cool, in fact, it was one of only 3 games, the others being Coastal 2 and Dungeon Lords, to receive a 0-star review.
Damn.
Now that was not sick.
Number 80, Ping Pals, 28%.
Oh, now we're going 28 or below.
That may give you an idea as to why 2004's Ping Pals was so crap. Imagine buying a feature that comes with Microsoft Paint
Hi.
pre-installed.
You got a new headset, didn't you?
Tens of dollars for a piece of software that was quite similar to Microsoft Paint, except it only allowed you to draw in shades of brown, and doesn't come with half of the tools. You wouldn't do that, right? Well, that's my
Nice
point.
purchase.
It's the exact reason why people were so upset with Ping Pals.
It takes such a long time to harvest. It is a little bit annoying, but hey. After I sell this harvest, I'm going to buy that field. For you. Look at you living in the future. Okay, here's what I'm a little bit annoyed at right now. I want to buy this field, but I'm going to buy it when it's harvested. Because they're growing freaking potatoes. Hey, you want to see how much a potato harvester costs? You want to see it? Yeah? Don't you, huh? Just take a look at that price, by the way. $599,000. $600,000.
Also, I added to the order some Xbox headphones. Also, I didn't realize they're bigger than my head.
Nice.
Players will accrue coins, which they could then use in an in-game shop. This all sounds fine.
Nice.
Remembering the DS came with a chat program pre-installed, one that had several features that Ping Pals lacked. It's for this reason that critics had no time for Ping Pals, and they all agreed that the game was complete.
Is it a chatting service? Because if it is, I can probably imagine some people drawing lewd images in chat and just sending them across. Imagine, hey, how's it going? Gets a picture of like a big wiener. Like, okay, I'm gonna block you now. That didn't sound like a good idea.
Was so rubbish that one reviewer decided not to bother going into details and instead just published a note with nothing more than the word pointless handwritten on it. Number 79, Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash, 28%. Whilst the DS was a neat little machine that had a few brilliant titles, I don't think it's unfair to say that it also had its fair share of crud as well. Case in point, Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash. The game was of the side-scrolling smash-em-up variety and saw players taking control consists
have
of
to wake
nothing
up
but
at
punching,
6:30
kicking, and
tomorrow,
atomic
but so
breathing
I'm
your way
getting
through a
6.5
variety of enemies.
hours of sleep if I fall asleep at midday. Midnight asterisk.
If you want to fall asleep quicker, just play Farming Simulator. It's really great because it makes me sleepy. What is that? Oats, 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 oats. Okay. I'm gonna be a jerk here in a few minutes. Oh, it's all harvested. I'm a jerk because I bought that field. I harvested. Actually, luckily, if you don't have it, you can actually buy the mobile version, which actually
I don't have enough money.
the mobile version's like $5. It's actually pretty fun. I love Farming Simulator 20 on iPad. It is actually really fun to play. Mobile, I actually play mobile when I go to bed. It makes me so tired. I haven't played it in a while because I've been playing this one.
I can't make pay purchases.
It's fine.
Plane, a little plane, a big boat, a little boat, and a cardboard box. The last one I just threw in for funsies, because Lord knows there's no enjoyment to be found anywhere else in Double Smash. Unsurprisingly, critics found the game to be tedious, repetitive, and slow-paced, which is the last thing you'd want from a game about a giant lizard that goes around smashing things up with reckless abandon. In addition to all of that, Double Smash was also insultingly easy and too short to justify the price tag. Plus, the story mode lacked a save mechanic. Number 78, Sneakers, 28%.
Sneakers?
Now, we would hate to imply that the developers of 2002 Sneakers in any way ripped off the character design of the game's protagonist from the masterpiece that was Stuart Little, but yeah, I mean, they're basically identical, aren't they? Sneakers, or Next Mix Have a Nice Day if you want to get Japanese about this, was a game sold exclusively in Toys R Us in North America. The game stars an anthropomorphic mouse named Apollo, as he and his mouse pals embark on a quest to save one of their mouse brethren who's been kidnapped by a pack of dastardly rats. A game in which players are forced to traverse a human-sized world as tiny characters is attentive and brilliant. I mean, just look, and it takes two for evidence of that. But dull gameplay makes Sneakers a snooze fest. Most of the game was on rails, and players had to do nothing more than scout out
I need
rats
fuel.
and look at them until they ran away. Occasionally, some combat was peppered.
I will say there is a lot of really weird anime out there, but even though I don't really like it, I feel like there'd probably be just that right anime, you know, that perfect one. You know what I mean? Like what's it called? I don't care if people watch it as long as they're not a weird person, as long as they're not like really creepy. I'm fine with it. Try to be cringe lords. Like I literally listened to a story where this girl was trying to write people's names in a death note to try to kill them or something, and it was just, it's cute, it's funny. Cute as in like it's a pathetic little attempt. God, this thing guzzles some gas. Look at the gas meter. This is very, very low. I have to go get some fuel now or else this thing's gonna die. I don't. Actually, you'll be able to understand this because you live in the UK, right? I'm filling it up in liters. This tractor holds over 1,200 liters of fuel. I'm getting probably at least 1,000 liters of fuel. It's a lot of fuel. It's diesel too. My God, there's a lot of fuel. I don't think I've ever paid this much for fuel in Farming Simulator. But whatever, it's gotta happen sometime sooner or later. Is that the fuel? Is that the fuel cap up there? Damn, that is a lot of fuel. $1,300 of fuel. Talk about inflation. I think like $1 per liter in this game.
Said it was 40 outside, we would think it's boiling outside, we would think it's a very extreme heat wave.
Yeah, because you measure in Celsius. it's probably at least 10 degrees Celsius out that side. I'm actually probably one of the few Americans you'll ever see that uses Celsius. I don't like to use Fahrenheit anymore. 40 Fahrenheit is definitely sweltering. The highest I've recorded was sweltering 38 degrees within 2 years. Idiot. Just go around.
The proceedings, but the fights were slow and far too easy. Take it from us, you'd have been far better taking that $30 you just spent on sneakers and using it to buy a pair of actual sneakers so that you could run as far away from this game as humanly possible. Number 77, Thundercats, 28%. If you grew up in the 1980s and have fond memories of the TV series Thundercats, then we're going to ask you to close your eyes and stick your fingers in your ears for the next entry. We'd hate to be responsible for ruining anyone's childhood. In 2011, Thundercats returned to television screens in an all-new series, which went down pretty well with long-time fans. Naturally, when there is a successful TV show or movie, a cruddy video game is sure to follow. And follow it did, with 2012 Thundercats for the Nintendo DS. Throughout the side-scrolling beat-em-up, players controlled Lion-O and were tasked with nothing more than swinging a sword at waves of identical enemies. Make it through each stage, and you'll be rewarded with an insultingly easy boss fight. To call the game repetitive would be an understatement. It was level after level of the exact same thing. Thundercats also suffered from the upsetness of gameitis as well, with outdated graphics and a ridiculous number of bugs and glitches.
Then and sit very bad for usually 8 days.
Safe, but would also whiteboard sleep dates.
Stop. Stop advertising gambling to me. I'm 17 and a half.
As American McGee clearly did was developing Bad Day LA. Getting up on the wrong side of the bed for months is the only reason we can come up with as to why this game ended up being such a pile of steaming tosh. Bad Day LA tells the story of former Hollywood agent Anthony Williams who, whilst living on the streets of LA, witnesses a terrorist attack during which a plane full of chemicals is crashed into an overpass, turning several of the city's inhabitants into zombies. His day gets worse from there, as whilst trying to escape the city, a string of disasters befalls it, and Anthony becomes something of a reluctant hero. McGee intended for the game to be satire, however, the mark on that was missed by a country mile. The game's crass humour fell completely flat, often bordering on offensive, which might not have been as big of a problem if the gameplay hadn't also sucked. Bad Day LA was linear, almost to the point of being on rails, repetitive and wildly unbalanced, with players finding that most weapons were damn near useless, and the ammo...
Like... No! One day I'm going to buy all those fields on that left.
Yeah, I'm in year 7.
And I'm going to doze in every field over here. Cause I just don't like all the fields over here. They're just annoying to harvest. I like to harvest field 41 over there because that one is squared and the edges are straight. I mean, look at this field. This field's annoying. The AI do not work over here.
Throw into the mix a bunch of bugs and glitches, and you've got a game that really should have phoned in sick. Number 75, Mortal Kombat Special Forces, 28%. I don't think it's unfair to say, but the Mortal Kombat franchise has had its ups and downs over the years. The vast majority of games in the main series have been well received by both critics and fans, but there have also been the odd dud, such as Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero, and the focus of this entry, Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Unlike its predecessors, Mortal Kombat Special Forces was not a fighting game, but rather a third-person action-adventure. The game is set before any of the others and follows Jax Briggs as he attempts to prevent Kano and his gang, the Black Dragon, steaming pile of garbage in this analogy. Critics admonished the game's weak storyline, lackluster graphics, and soulless gameplay, asserting that even at its low price, it just wasn't worth playing. Trust us when we say, kids, no Mortal Kombat is better than this Mortal Kombat. Number 74, Dragon Ball Evolution, 28%. We
In
come
from the
now,
Excel I
ladies,
had
gentlemen, and
natural blonde.
others, to the first of many horrible movie tie-in
Fair.
games on this list. What's quite interesting about Dragon Ball Evolution on the PSP, though, is that, according to critics at least, it was actually better than the film that it was based on. I'd like to assure you that it's still gosh darned awful, but you know us, we like to find silver linings in situations, so there it is, I suppose. Dragon Ball Evolution was a game of the fighting persuasion, and plot-wise was based on the film of the same name. It follows protagonist Goku and friends as they embark upon a quest to defeat the evil Lord Piccolo before he can get hold of the titular Dragon Balls and use them to eschew power over the whole planet. Sounds great, and it is in manga and anime. The movie and game, not so much. Critics panned Dragon Ball Evolution upon its release in 2009, although some praised the game for its fast-paced action and multiple
Apparently
gameplay
in the
modes.
it has the
Most agreed
second
that it didn't have
ugliest
much to
men
offer
Ireland.
besides that. The graphics were awful, even for a handheld game.
That's
The AI was
weird.
incredibly hit and miss, and there was no finesse to the gameplay. With one critic even
That's kind of
claiming that just
rude.
mashing the one button would allow players to win most of the time. Number 73, the Ass Kickers. 27.
The Ass Kickers.
That's a pro tip for anyone in the business.
Oh god, I can tell what type of game it is. It looks so boring.
Yeah,
Something
from
like the
surveys.
Ass Kickers, then you'd better make bloody
Hmm.
well sure
Interesting.
of exactly what it says on the box.
Oh my god.
I guess for 2011, the Ass Kickers did not, in fact, kick ass. According to its description on Metacritic, the Ass was an beat-em-up title from the 80s, Streets of Rage, Kung Fu Master, and Double Dragon. Sure, the game was a 2D beat-em-up, but that's more or less where the comparison ends. As the Ass Kickers was to the likes of Streets of Rage, what that horrible celebrity cover of Imagine was a John Lennon's original. In a word, appalling. The Ass Kickers scored some points for its artwork, which did look quite cool. It was a shallow mess of a game. The controls were too simplistic, the enemies were dull and repetitive, and the environments, whilst nice looking, were quite empty. Those issues would be enough to earn the Ass Kickers a bad game badge all by themselves, but it was also plagued by bugs and glitches. The game did nothing to update the genre's formula, and when
The
compared
most
to
common
most of the
name is
retro titles
Muhammad
that
in
were
the
still
USA
available to
James,
play, it
Neil
was
and my
nothing
name.
more than a pale imitation. Number 72, Terminator 3, War of the Machines. 27.67%.
I'd say one of the most common last names is probably Smith. Or one of the most common names in the United States is probably John. John, Bob, and all those names. God forbid you are investigating a crime and the perpetrator's name is John Smith. Yeah, you gotta find someone called John Smith.
In the USA and Canada is Smith.
Yeah, Smith is stupid common.
Terminator 3 War of the Machines was a first-person shooter with heavy emphasis on online multiplayer. People could choose to side with either the humans or with Skynet, and were then tasked with dispatching their opponents in a team deathmatch or holding or overturning an area in the objective-based mission mode. The game had a plethora of problems, but chief among them was the poor online multiplayer. The main thing the game claimed to do. The limited online servers prevented the players from easily finding a multiplayer game, and so most ended up stuck with the pathetic single-player mode. Even if they did manage to get online, things got no better. The game's levels were poorly designed, and so players often found themselves running into dead ends. The
In the
graphics
messenger
and
I think
animations
it's
were
royal so I
inexcusably
got
low
a bit of
quality,
British
and the
Empire
sound
blood so
fared
I
no
used to
better.
own your
Suffice
country.
it to say that Terminator 3 War of the Machines was a game that could have only been improved by dumping it into a vat of molten steel. Number 71, Knight Rider the Game 2, 27.6%. You might be wondering what possessed developer and publisher Double Games to adapt an almost 2-decade-old TV series into a game for the PlayStation 2, and honestly, we're wondering the exact same thing. As you may be able to glean from the title, Knight Rider the
I think I'm gonna only
Game
fertilize
2 was
once.
actually a sequel to Knight
Most of
Rider
my
the
bloodline
Game,
is
which
from the
also
Alp.
wasn't very good, though it did scrape a review score of 40.89%, therefore making it just mediocre enough to not back a spot on this list. Knight Rider the Game 2 highly
trend.
advanced car called KIT to help him fight crime. Players were expected to drive KIT around a number of levels in order to scan some.
The AI drawing trend.
It forgotten the appearance of some.
I just took out some of that guy's beetroots.
Admittedly, not running the game 2
It
was a
says
budget
apparently I'm a
title,
girl
so
in most of
expectations
the
were
anime.
already low, but even so, it still, somehow, managed to disappoint even the
Bruh.
most Knight Rider fans. The levels are poorly designed, the story was badly written, and the voice acting was and all of that were bad enough. It didn't even have David Hasselhoff in it. What's the
Cause I
point of
got long
anything
hair.
if it doesn't have the heart?
Long hair equals girl?
ESPN NBA tonight, 27.56%.
Bruh.
These days, Konami are arguably more famous for their pachinko machines and their messy breakup with their machines. They are creating decent video games, but it doesn't always mean that way. Hell, around the turn of the millennium, the company was famous for the likes of the Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania series, all of which have entries that are considered to be amongst the best games ever made. So it's they allowed to try like ESPN NBA Tonight to be released at all, like most other basketball titles.
Don't worry, you can't kill deer in this game.
NBA Tonight was to control little digital players and machines to support.
Yeah, and
If
sometimes
NBA
it
2K1
becomes
was
a
a benchmark
anime
for success
waiting.
in the virtual court at the time, then ESPN NBA Tonight was a masterpiece. Critics absolutely lambasted the game, levied complaints
Your
about
beautiful
graphics,
anime waifu, Dino Nux.
Play this abomination. Put simply, ESPN NBA Tonight was
Yeah.
the video game equivalent of asking your mum for McDonald's being told, let's read at home. No need to find out that it's sensitive in Number 69. Nice! The Incredible Maze. 7.43%. It saddens us that such a banal game is taking up the nicest spot on this list, but I suppose that's just how the first games of the piece crumble. The Incredible Maze was a WiiWare title that challenged players to roll the ball around a number of different
Do you
mazes.
know
The
Andrew
overall aim
Tate,
being
my
to make
dad
it to the
only
end of
knew
the
of him
maze without
cause of
falling victim
Greta
to one of its
Thunberg.
many obstacles.
No.
So players can choose to do things with their hands. Entertaining, so whilst players may have had some
3
fun
days
trying to
ago.
guide a little ball around a labyrinth.
Hmm.
First, the game is also a complete nightmare to control. The motion controls for both the Wiimote
69%, oh my god!
and the were implemented horribly, meaning the players found it basically impossible to send the ball in the direction they wanted it to go. The Wiimote made the game marginally easier to control, but that was less to do with any sort of competence and more to do with the fact that it's easier to move your hands about than it is your whole body. Number 68. MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch. 27.42%.
I'm surprised that Field 42 doesn't need harvesting.
Against each other in the wrestling ring sounds like a fun time, but it's clear that you've never played MTV Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh my god, that is hell. Why would you accept that contract? That contract right here, you know how wide that harvester head is? 2 meters. That harvester head is just a little bit wider than I am
Ask
tall.
your mom if can come for New Year.
Yeah, I will. Be here for hours, huh? I'd be here for hours? Okay, there you go. Found my house city house. I'm gonna wait for that guy to
A
clear
good
out.
place for starting world domination could be Egypt cause it's got a good geography and lots of oil and other stuff.
Okay. We're gonna sell in June. We keep going.
Also China.
In the wrestling ring, players simply needed to hit their opponents until their life meter depleted, at which point they MTV Celebrity Deathmatch was supposed to be top, but all audiences ended up with was a game that was laughingly bad. insultingly easy, with many players finding that they were able to button mash their way to victory in under a minute. The graphics weren't up to much either, as the devs opted for standard
Have you
character
watched
models
some
rather
of
than the
my
claymation
videos yet?
style that the show was known
No, I
for.
haven't.
With more relevant celebrities, better writing, and graphics more reminiscent of the TV show, MTV Celebrity Deathmatch might have been
May.
pointless fun.
Next month.
As it was, players would have had a much better time if the actual game had been made out of Play-Doh. As they could have smashed it up and turned it into something more interesting. Number 67, The Quiet Man.
A recent game, 2018.
In 2018, the
Okay.
movie A Quiet Place was released and proved to audiences that it was possible to tell a successful story whilst keeping dialogue and sound to a minimum. Later that year, The Quiet Man was released and proved that whilst a low dialogue, well-told story is possible, it takes some serious skill to pull off. Behind the game. The vast majority of The Quiet Man played out in 15 seconds. Really going down and a stage done.
What's that crap? That's $177,000. I'm not gonna buy that. I'd rather buy this field. I get all this unnecessary crap right here. I'd rather buy field. I'd rather buy plot 52. And then when I buy this right here, one I'm driving right now, I'm gonna use it. Maybe.
One good thing about Egypt is it's the most powerful country in Africa.
Uninspired level design, as well as the plethora of bugs and glitches.
Time to dump.
Facebook was online matchmaking rather than lagging their arms. Easy players to an appropriate game, they were left to choose from a list of matches. Suffice it to say that this was not a game that should have
$27%.
Admittedly, the Wii version of Acme Arsenal would be the worst of the bunch, but the PS2 and Xbox 360 editions only scored 38 and 40 respectively, so they didn't exactly have much to throw about either. The game starred several beloved characters from Warner Bros. Looney Tunes cartoons, including Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Taz the Tasmanian Devil, and tasked players with fighting, platforming, and puzzle-solving through a variety of levels. Had any real care been taken
So
by
I
the
could
developers,
take
then Acme
Liberia the
Arsenal
weakest
could
in
have been a bit
Africa,
of
and
wacky
from
fun,
there if I
especially
wanted
for
to
the
take
kiddos,
Africa,
but it
then
ended up
head
being nothing
directly
more than a
south
lazy
next
attempt
would
to
be the
cash in
Middle
on a
East.
much beloved franchise.
God, I want this so bad. This idiot has sugar beets in it, which I don't want sugar beets. I can't harvest. No, these are those are beetroots. No, these are sugar beets. I can't.
To many folks, ourselves included, the PlayStation 2 was the greatest console of all time, and that was thanks in large
There's almost 200 million PlayStation 2 consoles today. There are more PS2 consoles than PS4 and PS5 combined.
as he attempted to master the elements of water, earth, wind, and fire, all whilst desperately trying to regrettably, the game was far from being a movie wonderland. It was instead about the hangover one might experience the morning after a night in this. Critics derided Godai for its uninspired.
What land would you want if you were Egypt for me, all of Africa and the Middle
Dead
East?
on arrival, lot of
I don't know. If you're talking about what land in like Middle East, probably Saudi Arabia, Peninsula.
Although the game is named after much of
God, I know I keep saying it, but if I had all this land right here, I would be making so much money. I don't care if I'd make. Oh, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Like
Jingo
what
attempting to
countries would
disrupt
you
the
take?
ballistic missile launches.
I don't know. Just don't. Nope. Don't. We don't talk about Fallout 70. Or where's it going? Stop. God, they just mentioned the.
We don't talk about black in Spanish.
Everyone's favorite movie team it scored a pitiful 15% performance content, so I suppose technically its video game tie-in was almost no doubt. Hayden Christensen's character as the film did, the video game turned into Griffin, played by little Billy Elliot himself, Jamie Bell. It tells the story of Griffin's worldwide search for both his parents and sees him fighting his way through hordes of goons in order to reach the truth. Sadly, even those who liked the movie had a hard time recommending Griffin's story, as it had very little to offer. All Griffin did was run about from room to room, beating up endless identical enemies.
Translate
The
white,
combat
blue, and
wasn't even
black into
particularly
Spanish.
satisfying either, as most
No.
players found that the most effective way to murder was by buttons.
No,
That
no,
makes some
no.
poor graphics and a woefully short runtime, and you put yourself a game that should have just jumped straight into the bar. At 61.
Chicken soup.
26.
What are you doing? We're going lower.
You were looking for a game that did exactly what it said on the box, and I suppose you could have done worse than to treat yourself to a copy of Chicken Shoot. The entire game consisted of nothing more than sticking it to some poultry, so in that sense, it was a winner.
How McDonald's is made. Just play the video game. Dude.
Wasn't the game for you? From which to shoot said chickens, things didn't vary all that much. On the technical that it had nothing to offer beyond shooting chickens. And no quests mission.
Amoriazol.
Number 60, the Mark, 26.2.
We're almost to the 26% mark.
You're a first-person shooter.
And we kind of passed the 1/3 mark.
And it isn't a huge deal if you don't have the most groundbreaking storyline. After all, many gamers are happy to just blast a few enemies into oblivion and give little thought to the plot. And so long as you nail everything besides the narrative, no one's going to worry too much. Sadly, the Mark not only had a whiz-poor excuse for a story, but it also missed the mark on pretty much everything else it tried to do as well. What narrative there is tells a terrorist plot to unleash a nuclear missile on the good people of London, and it's up to US Marine Steve Fletcher and mercenary Austin Hall.
I think it should be up to like the UK officials to take them down. I mean, the Marines in UK, that just kind of doesn't really match.
Because, you know,
One
seeing
my
9
YouTube,
million
TikTok,
people
and Snap a
vaporized
Happy
in
New
an
Year thing
instant
will
isn't
be
good
fun.
enough motivation to get involved, I suppose. Now, before we start really tearing into the Mark, it is worth bearing in mind that it was a budget title, which does help us to forgive some of its sins. But Not at all. The plot was bland and boring, the characters were about as deep as a teaspoon, the game suffered from numerous technical and gameplay issues to boot. The mark was unbalanced, unfair, and didn't even have the decency to look nice whilst it was entered. For 59.
YouTube really gives you everything else. Multiple downloads.
Down.
Truna.
I don't care about background play. By the way, download videos. All I gotta do is go on an iPad and screen record them. That's all I have to do. Easy piece of script and easy. Now we gotta wait for this train to go. Oh god, it's gonna take such a long time. I think it's slowing down. It's about to start accelerating towards us. See, we're at 3.2. 3.1. I think it's now starting to accelerate. Like, just starting. Yep, it's coming. I wonder if it's coming in from this side. Yeah. We're gonna have $200,000. We're gonna have $200,000. I could probably buy. I could actually probably buy that, but I'm not going to because I would be dirt broke. So I'm probably gonna buy this and maybe this. Right there, that'd be a good land to buy. I would sell this, but honestly, I'd rather just keep it. I could buy this right now, but I don't really want it. It's just like a hangout, basically. This one is, these two properties are going to be the toughest to farm for. No pun intended. The train's coming. Oh yeah.
Morbus Gravis, 26%. Oh yeah, here we go. Morbin time.
Morbin time, let's go.
Real food games on this channel, as in games that have completely embarrassed themselves. But Druna Morbus Gravis takes that descriptor to a whole new level. You know, because of the other meaning of the word boo. The game was based on Paolo di Scapieri's pornographic comic series.
Oh my god.
Published between 1985 and 2018. The plot of the game follows the titular hero, pun very much intended, as she attempts to uncover memories that will allow her to awaken from a coma.
Road Rage? Why I feel like I've heard about this. Road Rage 2017.
26%. In 1991, a vehicular combat game called Road Rash was released for the Sega Genesis and was met with critical acclaim. A string of respectable sequels.
That say?
With sweat, grinning face, with sweat, grinning face, with sweat, grinning face, with sweat, grinning face, with sweat, grinning face.
Okay, boys, about to get.
Face with sweat, grinning face, with sweat, grinning
Oh
face,
crap!
with sweat, grinning face, 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 with sweat.
Ah,
Grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat.
Okay,
grinning
begin
face
filling.
with sweat,
Is that
grinning face with
is
sweat,
that see through?
grinning face with sweat, 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 grinning face.
Do that again. I'm probably gonna have to put you in the
Grinning face with
queue.
sweat, grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat, grinning face with sweat. I type fast. The bot is going for a pain.
Okay, we're empty. Let's sell these beans. There we go. Oh wow, we actually got a lot of money from that. Okay, let's... Oh yeah, making a lot of money. I could probably buy that big field, but why would I do that? I have to learn how to put my money where my brain is. Alright, go there.
Followed in the years after, the series hasn't been seen or heard from since 2009, leaving something of a gap in the alliterative motorcycle violence video game market, a gap that 2017's Road Rage didn't even come close to filling, despite its best efforts. Road Rage is set in the future, one where motorcycle gangs ride about the place and whack each other with big
futury.
sticks. This could have been a bit of mindless fun, but shoddy execution just left players with, well, with Road Rage. The game's main
Let's see.
its core mechanic, which isn't a great start.
423 minus 300. That's 123 minus 64, which would be $60,000 left. No, I'm not gonna take the gamble.
From some seriously wonky physics. 1 minute players would collide with a car head on and suffer no more.
Is it harvested?
Inconvenience, and the next they'd roll over a loose pebble and find themselves yeeted into the next millennium. Top it all off.
What's that game? Oh, that's barley. I'm like, what?
Speaking for
naturally being in such a good proximity to so many spandex. And so it now pains us all the more to see not only a bad video game, based on Lucha Lucha, its TV series from the early 2000s, Lucha Lucha Mascaritas of the Lost only thing wrong with Masqueraders of the Lost Code, though. The game failed at basically everything.
Please tell me that this guy will harvest his freaking potatoes.
Nothing more than a never-ending cavalcade of goons that required little effort.
Squidward. Can you just harvest your potatoes, my guy? Please and thank you. You know what? Listen, I'm gonna be like hippity hoppity. I'm about to buy your property, so how about you just, I don't know, give me your freaking potatoes, or I can do something better. Chill! Oh my dogs. That's that field 42. Maybe I can do it? I don't know. Love driving a $500,000 vehicle. This thing costs like 600,000. Actually, how much does it cost? It's in the hundreds of thousands range. Oh god. Oh. Panther 2. Oh, it's actually pretty cheap. Well, it is not like really cheap, but you get the point. 10 meters to harvest beetroots? Oh, okay. Whoops. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to put this thing back. There you go, that's better. Okay, so, I thought there were, oh, beat technology. Yeah, there was this wide header. 4 meters, 2 points. Oh, god, that's cancer. Oh, it swivels? It seems going on in the video.
There's a hack for millions of dollars a day.
Hey, Fried Plays. I feel like I've seen you before.
I wanna beat Golem in Calamity.
Initiate Harvester. Actually, I don't want to dig myself into this. Thank you. You harvest your own stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Hey guys, you want to see a troll? Yeah, should we troll before we shut off stream? Let's troll. I'm about to commit a massive troll, by the way. So you're growing.
Go now. See you later.
You too. Actually, I'm gonna do something that might make the Simpson happy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna stop streaming. I'll be right back on another game.
Well, I wait. Have you?